What's good, y'all? So lately, I've been reflecting on my life, just contemplating how I was when I was more DL and had more self-hatred and all that, versus how I am now, where I've accepted myself and I'm just more mentally and emotionally mature. I said that, right? So basically, I wanted to share this with y'all because I feel like this mentality is the mentality you need to have when when this is your life, when this is part of who you are, and two, just in general, feel like it helps some people. You feel me? So, me personally, don't know how long I've been this way. Couldn't tell you when it started, if it was at birth, or if I became this way out of necessity, but I'm the type to self-analyze a lot. I ask myself, I ask myself questions all the time, right? Just about, y'all know I majored in sociology, so about society, how we think versus how we feel, that type of stuff. And well, part of that I was thinking about most recently was being able to separate what I want from my life versus what other people want for me. You feel me? Mainly my family, because those are gonna be the closest people in your life most of the time, family, friends. And I would say I haven't always been able to do that. I mean, yeah, you like even as a young age, your parents tell you they want this and this for you. You can't wait till this day happens, or you meet this and that person, and this is what's gonna be good for you, all that type of stuff. But being able to separate what I want from what others want for me is something that I would say I've gotten better at. Like over the past 2-3 years, right, with the whole situation with telling some members of my family and my homies and all that kind of stuff. I just realized what I want from my life versus what I've been told to want. You feel me? I don't want to get married like most families want you to get married and have a working 9 to 5 and do all this other kind of stuff. But I don't want to get married. I would like to have kids once I'm financially stable. But at this point in my life, I'm not really sure what that looks like. You feel me? Because I've grown up with, find a wife, get a house, have kids. That's how most people grow up. How most people are taught to. Those are the things you're told to want. You feel me? And obviously it's different because I would rather be with a dude. And when I think about having kids with a dude, it's hard to. I mean, it's not hard to picture. I guess it is kind of hard to picture. It's like I can picture it in my head. It's just like it's kind of like, how would that work? You feel me? It's like, I mean, part of me is like scared, like when I feel like on some level the kid's gonna need a mom because they need that energy. You feel me? same time, like, I don't know, do kids need a mom? Can you have, you know, I'm gonna say well adjusted kids in a same sex couple, right? I I don't know any. No, I know one person who has two moms, but we're really not that close. Um, he's like a friend of a friend, and I mean, he seems cool. He seems like he go through everything else that the rest of us go through. Like, bro's been depressed before, seen that clearly. Um, he doesn't have substance abuse problems. Like, he smoke and drink like the rest of us. Like, he seems fine. But that's still a question in my mind. You feel me? Just with that specific instance, right? And as far as like the other stuff that typical American families want for you, like working a 9 to 5. Like, I work a 9 to 5 anyway, because you just have to. You live here. Unless you got like a great business idea, you want to be an entrepreneur type shit, you got an amazing talent, right? All that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's like that. It's another way I would phrase that would be, what does your nature tell you versus what society tells you? You feel me? Because my nature tells me I like niggas and females, but to a lesser extent, right? When it comes to sex, I can smash whoever. My dick does not discriminate. You got ass, you got ass. But when it comes to energy, you feel me? I'm more attracted to masculine energy. And I've mentioned this before. Even when I talk about masculine energy, I've been attracted to masculine energy in females too. But to me, masculine energy is being assertive, confident, knowing what you want, being a little aggressive in bed, you feel me? You go after what you want. Always. You don't let nobody tell you shit. That's the type of energy that I want, that I need, because I'm that's how I am. I need someone who's on the same page with me. You feel me? Yeah. And I would say on that note also, no, it's not important, but since I already said, I'm gonna say LA females, bro. LA females, the vast majority are far and away not what I want in a relationship in here. If you're from LA, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not and you come here, then you will. Not a big deal. Moving on. I also wanted to share some of the, well, I'm still talking about my mentality, right? So I wanted to share some of the lessons I learned earlier on, right? Because I was raised Christian, very Christian. So my mother was very controlling with that kind of stuff up until maybe 10 years old. I wasn't allowed to watch, associate with anything that wasn't Christian. I only could watch Bible Man, Veggie Tales, had to read the Bible. There was this radio show called Adventures in Odyssey. If y'all know what that is. Yep. But all that aside, one thing that I took away from, let's say, Christianity, and actually no, it was one of those Adventures in Odyssey tapes. And it's always stuck with me. One of the characters said, you got to be grateful for the good and the bad. And when I heard that, I was probably ballpark 11, 12 years old. But it always stuck with me because, like, why would I be grateful for the bad stuff, right? A long time I went with that question. But through just, living life, I learned that, I would say all of the bad experiences in my life have taught me something. I've learned something. I've grown from them. You feel me? Maybe, obviously, not in that moment most of the time, but, give it a few weeks, a month later, and you're like, oh, shit. If this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have learned this, or I wouldn't be here talking to this person, you feel me, type of stuff. And that right there has helped me maintain my spirituality, right? Because I'm not religious anymore, I'm spiritual, but I believe that everything happens for a reason. That ties in with, you got to be grateful for the good and the bad, right? Regardless of all of the painful experiences, there's always something to take away from it, right? I would say even with actually, let's give an example. Y'all know my first love. I talk about him all the time. Before I met him, I was, let's say, more depressed than I am now, right? And I would say that I don't pray anymore in the way that you would assume like Christians do, but let's say, talk to the universe, right? You can call it God, the universe, whatever. That doesn't matter to me. I'm talking about the same thing. But essentially, I asked all the time. I asked so hard because for me, there's nothing more in this life that I want. The two things that I want most in this life are love and wisdom. Love and wisdom. So those are the two things that make life most meaningful to me, most precious, everything. That's what I got tattooed on my arm right here, right? Now y'all probably never seen this, but right here, okay? So this is Hathor, the goddess of love, and Thoth, the god of wisdom in Egyptian culture. And down there, that's me walking towards him. Right. Now I chose them just because, one, I mean, they personify the things I want, and two, I love Egyptian culture. Everything about it. It's just very fascinating to me. But those are the two things I want most in life. So I was asking really hard. I asked specifically, I was like, God, even if I get hurt, I want to know what love feels like. Because at this point, I'd only been messing with females and it wasn't anything significant. You feel me? I was just going with them. I was just going after them because I was told to. I was told, you feel me? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I hadn't had any real connections like that, you feel me? And I wanted to know what love was like because all my cousins had experienced love multiple times. And when they explained it to me, I'd be like, y'all be doing the dumbest shit for these people. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? I didn't say that to their faces, obviously, because I love them. I'm gonna sugarcoat it just a little bit. But that was how I thought. I'd be like, what is this thing that makes y'all act so out of character? You feel me? In addition to that, I was also going through hella shit with my mother. We were in probably the worst place our relationship has ever been in. I really did not like that woman. Better now. But anyway, that's what I asked for. I said, even if I get hurt, I want to know what love feels like. Feel me? And that's exactly what I got. I got to experience love for the first time with someone that I know now we can't be together. We cannot be in a lasting, committed relationship because we're too different. We on two different pages. And I think we always will be. And that's just that. Right? Yeah. So that's part of my mentality. Moving on. Also, over the past, I'd say probably like a year and a half, I've been more so analyzing. It's not even something I have to think about. You feel me? It's I feel like three different people sometimes. You feel me? And I know that's because I've had to adapt different personas to fit my environment, right? Because even though I grew up in the hood, I worked around a lot of white people for extended periods of time, and I've always had Hispanic friends. I've had black friends too, but for so it went like this. Middle school, I hung out with niggas. High school, Hispanic and niggas, but my best friend was El Salvadorian. You feel me? And then college, we back to niggas. My boys, the friends that I had still have now, some of them. But either way, yeah, I feel like three different people sometimes because I have to act certain ways, not necessarily to fit in, but to make other people feel comfortable. You feel me? Because if y'all have been around white people, especially when you got a resting face like mine, I make people uncomfortable a lot. So I have to, what's the word? Not minimize myself. I have to come off a little softer. You feel me? Because a lot of times people are just intimidated. People will not approach me. Like until they actually hear me talk and they see my demeanor, you feel me? I've made people uncomfortable sometimes. Yeah. So where was I going with that? Actually, that was just something I wanted to share with y'all, because, well, partly because I've seen, if y'all ever watched Big Mouth, what was it, like season 2, season 3, the black kid, what's his name? Fuck, Deshaun? Devin. He has this song talking about a code switch. Now, I had heard the term code switch before, but never really, like, in the context, I knew I heard it, I knew what it was. But bro did a whole song about it, and he very, very clearly outlined exactly what it was. So, if y'all ain't heard that song, you should go watch it. God damn, Paris! Oh my God! Hey, my bad, y'all. My dog just farted, and I just caught that shit full in the mouth. You feel me? Just nasty. Yeah. So, as far as the code switch goes, oh, that was another reason I brought it up. Because there was a time I asked myself, it's like, not necessarily which one is the real me, because at my center, I know who I am. Like, I don't need to outline my qualities for y'all. Y'all see how I am. Anyway, at my core, I know who I am, even though I have to act different to make certain people uncomfortable in certain situations, right? You feel me? Like, in the business world, if I'm going for, like, you know, a high profile position and I'm interviewed by a bunch of white people, I'm not about to go in there talking hood as fuck. I'm not. Because it's common sense. You feel me? But yeah. I think we gonna move on from that. Moving on to my next point. Another question that I've asked myself for a while now is, what determines your sexuality? I actually had a video about that not that long ago, but just recently I just posed a question to myself. I was like, I wonder if it could be as simple as you'll gravitate towards the energy of the parent that loved you most. You feel me? Because like in that video I mentioned, there was a, not a psychiatrist, sociologist? No, he wasn't a sociologist. He was a scientist of the, all right, let's just call him a sociologist. Forget his name. I think it was Sigmund Freud, but bear with me. Either way, this dude that basically said, you know, who you're attracted to in your adult years, right, is based on your parentage, right? So to go on with that, I'm thinking, what if it's that simple, right? What if the parent who loved you most is you're gonna gravitate towards that energy, right? And because when I thought about it, I know my father has always loved me unconditionally. He's always tried to understand me. He never judged me. You feel me? Whereas my mother, she had this ideal of who I was going to be before I was born, right? Like a lot of parents do. Just to give an example with that, my older cousin had a baby. He gotta be like 5 now, like 5 years ago, right? And I remember around Christmas time, I overheard him, you know, talking about his boy, his son, and he was like, you know, my son's gonna be a baller. He gonna be this and this and that, and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, when you hear shit like that, it sounds harmless. You feel me? But you know, in the sense of, what if your son, daughter, whatever, doesn't turn out to be the way that you thought they would be? What you gonna do then? You gonna hate them? You gonna reject them? You're gonna feel some type of way. You feel me? But that's your fault. That's your fault. First of all, they didn't ask to be here. Second of all, you shouldn't impose your own ideal of who they're going to be onto them. You have no idea how they're going to turn out. You feel me? And, well, going back to like how my mother was, my mother and my father, with that mentality, you know, it's whenever I did something that my mother didn't like, you feel me, it always felt like she loved me less. Like she, you know, I always felt like she loved me less. I always felt like she was judging me. You feel me? Right, my pops, my pops wanted me to be strong, and he wanted me to be happy. He never said those specific things. Well, no, he said he wanted me to be happy. He never said those specific things out loud, but that's how I was raised by him with the time that I did spend with him. My father wasn't always around. You feel me? But yeah, man, I like to imagine what the world would look like if we stopped assigning sexualities to our children before they were born. And not even just sexualities, like anything. You feel me? Like, I know that if I do have kids, all I want for them is strength and happiness. The same as my father. Because that's all you need. I feel like, I don't care how you are. I just want you to be happy. Like, that's all I want for anyone in my family. Really, anyone I care about. Right? That's real love. You understand? And I know it's a real easy thing to do, because that's just kind of how our society is. So, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't really think about it. You feel me? Even me, like, I have a little brother, right? And love my little brother. Always will, always do. But since COVID and me being in school and working all the time, I haven't had any time to spend with him. I haven't had any time to teach him shit, to really be around my brother, you feel me? And I like had an ideal of how he was going to be, you feel me? Because I feel like we all do. You have to have, not have to, you're gonna have some type of picture in your mind, right? And my brother, there's nothing wrong with him at all. He's happy as hell, funny as can be. He's just not how I imagined him, you feel me? And I feel like when that happens, a lot of times you will try to change that person until maybe you realize what I've come to realize. Feel me? Yeah. Last thing, or last point that I wanted to say is about in our society, our society, our culture, human beings, we label things. We have a language to classify things so that we can communicate better, and we know what everyone's talking about, right? And in that sense, well, I've talked about the zodiac before, and it's not necessarily, well, I mean, I guess it's a belief system, kind of, but in addition to the zodiac, there was a video on YouTube that popped up in my timeline, or not my timeline, but it popped up on YouTube just randomly, and it was interesting, and it was talking about Sigma males. I didn't know that. Okay, so basically Sigma males, you know how we have alpha, beta, gamma, all that kind of stuff, right? They were basically using that to classify personality types. Now, I don't know who broke this down, if it was some sociologist or a group of people or whatever, but when I clicked on this video, it described me perfectly. You understand? And I feel like I don't know necessarily that it helps with like your self-identity, you feel me? But it was interesting to me, you feel me? Because I definitely, at this point, like, yeah, I definitely classify myself as a Sigma male. I'm not gonna tell people that because no one like really cares or needs to know, like, I am how I am. But the fact that there was a video that broke down a lot of my qualities and the way that I think about things, you feel me? Even the way that other people perceive me, right? There's like been 3 separate videos I've watched on Sigma male since then, and they all describe me, I'm telling you, perfectly, right? And that's the same way I felt when I well, not even, because it described me more accurately than even like the zodiac than Leo does. Feel me? When I first started researching Leo and all that kind of shit. But that was just food for thought. If y'all maybe would like to know, not necessarily know more about yourself, but what I'm saying is that, you know, that the videos I was watching had over 1 million, hundreds of thousands of views, right? So to know that there are other people out there that think like you do, are perceived by other people the way that you are, you feel me? I think that helps, you feel me? beyond the sexuality and all that kind of stuff, just personality traits. So yeah, that's it for this one. Can't tell y'all when I'm gonna have another video, because I don't know. But yeah, y'all enjoy this one, comment, subscribe, and yeah, catch y'all on the next one.